guys, welcome to Castle Coom Round 2. As you might have seen, it's wet today, and I do not do very good in the wet. So we'll see how today goes. This is like my third or fourth round at Castle Coom when it's been wet. I'm still very new to like having to take wet lines, so I'm just trying to learn from all the faster guys ahead of me. Which I had Ryan Taylor and Ben Frankham ahead of me in practice, so just trying to follow them. And I think I learned quite a bit, and I was able to use it in these heats, and we'll get into the first heat here. Alright guys, here we are for the first heat, starting on pole, because I'm number 4 today, so usually high numbers start on pole. The first heat, and should start any second now. Here we go. And can we get a better run than second? Make sure we give them enough space, nice red boots. And on the inside, wait for the grip to come by the wall, and we're away. And you pretty much just keep lapping and try and get a good lap and drive away on your pole heat. So I'm just gonna skip ahead to my next, not my next lap, but I'm just gonna show you all the laps I did. I did a 44.62, 41.87, and then on my next lap I did a 41.49, and I also did this. So I try and push the tire to get myself out, but the marshal tells me to stop, tells me off for doing that, and he pulls me out, and I get going again. So thankfully, I had built up a big enough gap to not be overtaken by everyone when that happened, and the marshal ran across the slippery, wet track to come pull me out. By the time I was able to get going again, the other guy was almost alongside me. So thankfully, I had built up just enough gap to be pulled out, and we end that heat with a win. Alright, here's the second heat, and hopefully it's not as uneventful as the first one. For the start, we're starting second, and we get squeezed, get squeezed into the wall, so I lose a bit of drive. And taking the wet line, he does not take the wet line, so I just sail right on past on the inside. And he's on the slippery part there, so I just get to cut across and take first place. And I'm gonna skip again, because it's still boring. I come in really hot with the wall there, and the marshal told me that he thought I was going into the wall again, and so did I. So just taking the wet line around here. Skip to the end of the lap. 42.32, still slower than what I was getting in my first heat, and a 41.77, just a bit slower. And for the final time, it's a pole heat. Well, it's not a pole heat, but being in the lead, it's pretty boring. It's a 41.85. So we already got 2 wins, and let's go to the third heat. Okay, third heat starting now. And the guy on my left tries to line up a bit more, and the guy in front of me gets distracted, I think, so he doesn't even get off, and I have to go to the left immediately. And already making a position there. Taking the wet line. And this guy's going really slow. Let's see what he does on this corner. Goes a bit wide, so I take the wet line. He's still on the slippery part, and so I do the chicane switcheroo, I'm gonna call it, up to the straight. It's on the left side, it's more dirty, so it's grippier in the wet. And taking the line on that hairpin, and cutting in to the left, staying close to the wall where it's all dirty. I think I can go a bit faster around there, but I was quite scared of it. I didn't want to crash into the wall. And almost right behind this guy now for second place, so already made up a couple positions. I'm starting in 5th. And getting a bit too ambitious there, hitting a wall. You're only allowed to do that, I think, 3 or 2 times before you get a penalty. So you have to be careful with that. And coming up the hill, I get a good drive compared to him. So I'm right behind him now. Around the hairpin, I cut in really early, because for some reason I thought I was going to make a move there. Which was completely unnecessary, I shouldn't cut in that early. But following around the wall, I'm sure we'll get another opportunity eventually. We're still right behind him. I'm left here and then cut in, taking the wet line. That wasn't really the wet line, it was a bit off. But the outside, this hairpin, coming up the hill. And stay close with the wall, stay right, and then go left at the end. I still came in really, like, earlier than I should have. But I get a better drive than him up the hill. It's kind of slippy there, but you have to just accelerate, and then once you slide towards the wall, you just grip up, because all the dirt's there. We're right behind him now, to kind of avoid him there. But space on the outside, do I go for it? No. If I did that, I probably would have put him into the wall, so I didn't. And coming on to the last lap now. Still right behind this guy, so hopefully we can make a move. Just follow him nice and closely. Maybe we can get a move done up the hill, because we've been getting better exits up there. And stay tight, and then come left. And can I get a better drive? Yeah, I get a really good drive. I almost go into the back of him, so I have to avoid that. And I'm just staying left, and he leaves the space on the outside, so I go for it on the grippy inside line here until I get into the slippy part here. And I'm just trying to turn the corner, but there's no grip at all, so I end up tapping the wall a bit, and then still ahead. And we win the... no, we don't win. We finish second in our third heat, which is still really good. We have 28 points, and we've got another heat to go, so we've got a good score so far. Alright, lined up for the fourth heat, the fourth and final heat. Oh, it started a lot earlier than I thought, and the guy in first gets a pretty bad start, and we're already up into third. Just coming around the outside, just staying behind this guy, and the guy who started on first spins. I look behind actually, and all of them got involved in that. So it's just me and this guy in the race now. And I do the chicane switcheroo, as I'm calling it now, and I get up into first place. I come in quite hot with the wall again, just trying to make sure he didn't try any moves or anything. Trying to take it as fast as I could. And I'm just going to skip ahead again, because it gets quite boring. Just trying to talk about, like, I don't know, anything when you're driving around in first. We do a 42.57. It's quite slow compared to what I was doing. And 42.5. And for the final lap, what do? 41.67. It's not bad. And so all the heats are done already, so we're going on to the final. We got a nice score. Let's see where I am. Okay, here's the final, and I'm starting in fourth, so that's pretty good. Hopefully I can try and get third or second or whatever. Hopefully I don't like lose any positions. I'm starting on the outside, so it should be pretty grippy since it's wet. Watch the lights. Yeah, there we go. And Ryan Taylor in first gets a really good start. He's already way ahead of Goose, who's in second, and he gets a tap from the inside, and I thought he was going to go into me for a second. I try and follow him, and I get squeezed by the wall, so I couldn't. I try and stick it around the outside there, but he was going to not leave any space and force me into the wall, and now Barry Lewis gets a good drive, but because we're on the dirty side, I managed to get past, and I go into Williams there, and around the outside, and I'm getting pushed wide, and Barry Lewis manages to get ahead, and onto this little hairpin, and Barry Lewis spins, so we get that fourth place back. I get tapped into the wall. It's a lot to talk about, and I get tapped here again into the wall. I put my hand up, because, you know, he's like pushed me for half the lap now. And coming into the first corner, on the outside, took the wet line, grips up, accelerate, and then this tight corner, you gotta stay tight with the wall. I get pushed again, so now I'm forced to take the bad line. But hopefully he doesn't capitalize on that, and he doesn't. I'm still ahead. Around this hairpin, I'm gonna take it as best as I could to try and get away from this guy and see if I can catch up to third. Still got a couple of laps to do it. And around the outside here, I go maybe like just as fast as I could go around there, because it started to slide a bit. And this part was actually kind of dry, but I wasn't going as fast as I could until the later laps. I didn't realize it was that dry. But here we are for the third lap. Stay tight here and cut in late, and I don't really do that. So something to improve on next time is like improve your wet line discipline. Cut in quite early again. Probably just in a rush because it's the final. Not really staying calm, but just cruising in fourth. It's a good position. But it doesn't look like we're gaining to third. So gotta go a bit faster maybe, as I do a 39.39. So I am going faster. as the track is probably faster, and there's yellow flags there. I don't know what happened there. And you can see Ryan there in the lead. He's miles ahead, and second and third here. Hit the wet line, cut in. It's nice and grippy here. Cut to the outside for the next corner, and just follow the outside for all of these. Yeah, you can see it's pretty much dry there. It's not like kind of grey from the rain. And for the penultimate lap, coming through the chicane, stick with the inside. Again, not really listening to my advice. And just taking the bad line. And top corner, around the outside, cut in. Repeat myself for the next lap probably. And then we'll have a 4th place hopefully. I was building quite a gap to cars behind, so I don't know if they were racing or if they were just slower. As I do a 38.88, which is quite good. Yeah, I had a pretty good gap to behind. So no worries from there, just trying to catch up to 3rd, but looks like it's a bit too late now since it's the final lap. So he looks behind there, he doesn't really have to, because there's no way I'm catching up to him unless he just crashes, as he takes a questionable line there. Coming around this corner, I just don't even bother with the wet line anymore. It's like only the last 2 or 3 corners left, so I just drive through there instead of just taking the wet line, thinking about it too much, and I finish to get a 4th place, which is not bad. It's pretty good points. I'm happy with it, and hopefully I can get like a podium later in the year. And coming into the pit lane, I got quite worried because there were already 4 carts in the pit lane, and so I thought maybe I finished 5th, but it was a lapped cart. And here's the results. So you can see I finished 4th, and with a 38.92, and I said I got 38.88, but I have no idea how the timing works, so I'm trying my best with what I can do in the video editor. But it was a pretty good session. So it's good points. I'm happy with it. It's my first probably like good wet weather performance, and I'm looking forward to the next round. My goals for this year, I probably want to, like, my absolute goal for this year would probably be like a win, but like a realistic goal I think is just getting a podium this year. I did it last year, so hopefully I can do it this year. I think that's quite realistic. And I also want to finish in the top 10 in the points. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and if you made it to the end of the video, then can only recommend that you subscribe and maybe watch some other videos. I hope you have a good day, and maybe I'll see you at the next round of Castle Coombe. See ya.